well. And when we have a diverse audience like this is a huge possibility. It's a huge opportunity, because we may have a director and a VP and a trainee and a software engineer and a student and a professional and a senior and a mid-level and a senior and a intermediate and a advanced and
why though? Because you're clearly a smart guy. I mean, you made it to U of T and everything, so.
Barely made it. Yeah, go on, sorry.
You made it. You gotta be
Yeah.
smart. Like, okay, you may have been the funny guy, but you were also a smart guy.
Good question. Good question. So the question, let me just rephrase, is like, why did people doubt me if like I made it to U of T? I guess, right? Well, I got 7% in math, so that's one of them. And I would say it's all relative, right? Like it's the people you're around, right? The people you grow up with. Every one of my friends was going to like Harvard or like, they're getting scholarships to U of T. I got into UT, and I'll be honest, I was a history major. That also kind of shows you what kind of grades I had. Yeah, I would say like the doubts are real. They were valid, but they weren't seeing the character I had. They weren't looking at the right spots. Traditional intelligence only gets you so far. And the thing is, the question really prompts me something. At Google, my best friend I work with is the smartest person in the world. Right? He went to University of Waterloo, did his comp sci thing, worked at IBM. He's the person that makes Cohere and all these unicorns like really thrive, right? And I can't do it without him. So I would say intelligence is really a cohesion of you and the people you work with, and or how compatible you are with each other. High school, I don't think we see that, right? Like everyone just like, what's your IB score? 44 out of 45, like you're good, right? But as you mature, you want to grow as an adult, you really have to look at other people, not just for the traditional like intelligence, but how can they help you and how you can help them grow with your weaknesses. And then that's why it was successful in adulthood. Yeah, good question. Cool. Oh shoot, okay, the double point. Okay, here you go, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Being a founder, as a founder, what was the biggest obstacle that you faced, and how did you actually try to overcome it?
Yeah, so as a founder, like what is the biggest obstacle I faced? I think you go to YouTube and type that prompt in, and it would be like, the hardest thing was funding. Like VCs don't understand my problems. They want to steal my money and take my shares and kick me out. The real problems with founders, I would say, is every day you have a challenge you haven't, like a problem you haven't solved the day before. And you have to wake up that day and realize and say, do I love my problem, my solution enough to solve this damn issue, right? And because when you solve it, 5 more issues will come, and you're gonna have to wake up the next day and go, damn, like, do I love my product? Do I want to solve this problem bad enough to like solve this issue? And you're not gonna make any money. That's another thing. You're gonna pour in money. So I would say to be a founder, you almost have to be like irrational, radical, empathetic, and like all the good traits, but also a lot of crazy. Sorry, I'm a boomer, so I say crazy like it's very insensitive, but like I don't mean like that. I just mean like, but yeah, so like I would say the biggest obstacles is honestly being blindfolded, just knowing and believing yourself, going like, if I couldn't fail, how big would I dream? I'll open my eyes and I start working, right? And the first month, $10,000, I spend 100,000. Second month, $20,000 revenue, I spend 100,000, right? Like blood, sweat, and tears every day, and just like go like, how big? I can't fail. I'm gonna succeed. And then 3 years later, we were cash flow positive, and I wear On running shoes, and it's nice. So I hope that answered your question. Oh, sorry. Am I being equitable? I'm trying to like. I want to point at you, but I feel like okay. I'm just gonna. I pointed at you. I'm sorry. Here you go.
Talk about this amazing project, how we do it in targeted, but how do we self-doubt? Because there are times when we doubt ourselves. We don't care about money, but what about self-doubt?
Sorry, can you repeat that last? I heard doubt. Can you repeat that question for me?
Like we don't care if nobody believes in us,
Yeah.
but what about self-doubt?
Self-doubt, right? Like, how do you combat self-doubt?
Yeah, how to combat that?
It sounds like, I mean, I already know you're intelligent, right? I know I know you're already really smart, because the only thing that I benefit from being not as traditionally intelligent is the lack of self-doubt. And I know you're smart because all my friends who are much smarter than me, who just cared less, I would say cared less about their failures, would be way more successful than me, right? And all they come to me is like, Mike, I don't think I'm that smart. Like I'm scared of failure, right? I'm scared of this, I'm scared of that. I was like, hey, okay, there's a lot of like, I can go in 2 hours, growth mindset, right? Blah, blah, blah. Just stop caring as much. Like really just stop caring as much. Like if all of you competed that day and joined, like, and registered for google.com/careers and registered, and we all went to the same room, and you had my confidence, right, and watched a few YouTube videos, I'm telling you, you'll be a better candidate than me, okay? The only thing I have is that I don't care, and I know that tomorrow I'll be better than today, okay? So when you talk about self-doubt, you're self-limiting. Can you change that because I talked to you today? No, but you will have to go through the super uncomfortable feeling that you might not be good enough and go fail. Not succeed, go fail. And then you're gonna realize, even though it hurt, the next failure is gonna hurt a little less. So the lesson here is really like, you're only doubting yourself because you haven't failed enough in life, right? And the more you fail, the less important it becomes. And then you just gotta believe the YouTube videos from the billionaires going like, I failed. They weren't lying, they actually did. And they felt better about it, and then one day they made it. Does that help? Okay, cool, pretty awesome. Any female questions? Any questions from females or anyone like that? Okay,
First of all, thanks for sharing your story. It's beautiful. Actually, my question is, what is the next big dream?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, here it comes. The founder's scared of people stealing their ideas. Here we go. Woo. Here we go. All right, well, first of all, like, to give context, even joining Google, I only knew it was a search bar for a long time in my life, right? So you're way ahead of me, okay? So even achieving Google was like beyond my dreams, right? Like kind of giving context of how I failed so much, I didn't even know this was possible. So that's the context. But for my next big dream, when I told myself that, how far can I go if I, knew I couldn't fail, I want to start another e-commerce brand. I'm extremely passionate about minorities and our culture. And I feel like even though Canada respects our culture, we don't get to express ourselves and where we come from in a beautiful way. So me and my fiance right in the middle there, who's filming me, we're thinking about creating a men's jewelry brand that's built from Chinese jade, because jade has such a strong story in Chinese culture for those who know. And I'm sure for each of your individual cultures, there's something that comes that people in the Western society might not understand, right? But we're proud of it, where we really want to represent it. So I want to present that to men's jewelry in like a beautiful way, because men are quite we're really bottled up with our feelings. We're not as well represent how we feel and look good. But at the same time, Chinese culture is just so important. And in Chinese culture and history, jade has always been the dominant jewelry or gem, not so much like the Western society ones. So that's me and my fiance, what we're going to work on next. Thank you. How are we time? I feel like we're just. No. I mean, okay. Here we go. Sorry. Yeah. Should we do last question or whatever you want? Okay. Last question. Yeah.
What have you learned through working with startups is the biggest tip for startup growth in general?
Are we talking about AI startups?
Not AI startups, just smaller scale seed stage startups.
Seed stage? So you got all right. Yeah. I feel you. I feel the vibe. The most important thing, honestly, is your founding team. Okay, if it was seed, it would be hiring. Your first hire could ruin your whole company, right? So I actually had two companies in mind here. There's two companies that came to me and said, hey, Mike, I got seed funding, so it's not that hard to get funding. I was joking around. Seed funding, can you help us, right? And I evaluated them beside each other. One, and you tell me which one you'd rather be. One founder is doing a sleeping mask company, and their CTO is fractional, who's a researcher at UBC, who does it half the time, and they say they believe in it, but the 6 months in, they realize the code is not even good. The other one was a Web3 crypto startup that I met the CTO for lunch one day. He flew in from Bermuda because of tax, and then we met him. And then I'm like, "What are you doing the rest of the time here?" He said, "I'm here for 2 days. One day I'm going to my best friend's wedding, who's the CEO, and the next day I'm flying back to Bermuda. I'm going 13 hours a day. I'm coding. That's all I'm doing." I'm like, "But you guys are $20 million Series A funded. You can hire someone to do that, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I've hired someone who does it exactly like I do." So now there's two of us. But the second I stop doing as much or more than people on my team, we're going to fail. So as a stealth founder, understand that there's people trying to outcompete you every day, and your technology partner has to want it badly. And they want it badly, and they won't quit. So I'm gonna ask you, which one do you want? You want the first startup, or would you rather be in the second startup? The second one, right? So okay, so yeah, the most important thing is how much is your founding team going to care about your business? Because I'm telling you, saying you want it isn't good enough. There's people who really want it, and I know that some of you really want it on the team, and that's why I'm here today. So thank you so much for your time, everyone. Appreciate it. You're awesome.
For sharing your story. So now I would like to invite you again for different
Oh, sorry. Sorry, me?
your time.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry for that. Sorry. How many times can a Canadian say sorry 5 minutes? Yeah.
So one thing that we wanted to know, because we also have some guests to keep up the exciting for audience. One more from you, you got a lot of question. Which one question made you think and find out, okay, this is a question I like to answer?
You have to prompt me for these things. This is not like, this is the most. They were all amazing questions, but I think the gentleman over here with the who freaking hates you, who like that question, it really makes me, you know, I was really excited about that question because. Yeah. Thank you for the hard question and reflection. Good question. Here you go. You take it.
Thanks for you, Michael. So can you invite our dean sir, if you can come up to hand over the guests to our guests.
Oh, shout out to Centennial College. Woo! Look at how unready we are for this. Like, no, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for. Thank you.
Thank you for your
wisdom. No, not at all. Thank you.
sharing your journey.
Thanks for sharing your space. This is amazing. Yeah, cool.
And I have a small thanks for Lisa like giving us this really good platform here in this college to make it work out for students and for the community as well. Thank you so much.
Woo.
All right, thanks, Michael.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. There you go. Oh, okay.
Thank you, everyone. So now I would like to introduce the next speaker, Henry Wu, who is a customer engineer at Google, and who has been working in this industry for more than 10 years. And he's working with the traditional companies and also for the startups. Thank you very much, and have a round of applause for him.
Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna use this mic, if you don't mind. Do I got to do the gifting later after my session? You sure? Okay, I didn't prepare any kind of prompt question. So if you got any question, feel free to ask after the session. Sorry, can you everyone see my deck? Do I need to do anything? Oh, okay. My name is Henry Wu. I am a customer engineer at Google. My session, I'm here to reassure you, you don't need to be as smart or charismatic as Michael to get into Google. I'm just a normal, nerdy, technical guy. And my session today is to kind of share, you know, what I have learned from the 2 events this year, Google I/O and Nest. I'm a developer, so I know that many of you are developers. So I'm going to show you some cool demos, right? And also some summary of presentation. So it's going to be pretty technical. Buckle up. Ask questions, and I love the interactions. 1 second, always need to wait for the technical guys come up. Thank you so much. All right, so my topic for today is cloud AI. And I truly believe like this topic is for everyone right now, right? Not because like all the companies are talking about AI, right? All the companies launching AI at some point. But I really believe that we are at this kind of AI trend at the moment, and it's like a new revolution. It's really like something that we all need to learn, or at least speak about it, or even try it to catch up with this trend. And even my 1-year-old daughter at home, I think she started learning words, and I think one of the first words she started is AI, right? She's screaming at AI, right? Maybe she heard too much from me at home, but yeah, from my 1-year-old, yeah, she started trying AI now. And thank you so much for coming on Father's Day. You haven't celebrated with the father. Hope you get some time to celebrate afterwards. Yeah, we are still good. All right. Well, lesson learned, always when you got on a big stage, always prepare for equipment checking first. But yeah, maybe I will do a quick questions. Have any one of you watched Google Next or I/O? Raise your hand. Okay, I got around 10 of them. That's good. So I'm going to talk about a lot of things that was announced at the event. So if you haven't watched this, that's totally fine. I'm going to summarize it. I'm going to show the demo, and yeah, sure.
Save it to your machine. Is it the PowerPoint?
No, I actually need to do some demo.
Oh.
Yeah, or is there a way I can
Like, do you have a URL?
URL?
Focus on cloud computing, machine learning, AI, and stuff. How old is this technology?
There you go.
Okay, awesome, cool.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
How many of the day it is
Okay, awesome.
5-year-old technology?
Thank you so much.
How many of the
How old is
day
this
it
technology?
is 5-year-old
How old?
technology?
GDG?
No,
Not GDG is the event.
No, but
Gemini. First thing that we do to make it available for everyone is that we're announcing our first-party large language model. Have anyone heard of large language model, LLM, Gen AI? Raise your hand. Awesome. So Gemini as our kind of the large language model that we announced at the events in Next and I/O. And then we also open source it to make it available for everyone to run it on anywhere, right? Not just on Google Cloud, but also you can run it on like AWS, Azure, or even on your laptop, right? And we call it Gemma. So Gemini is our kind of flagship first-party LLM models. Gemma is the one that everyone can use, and it's open source. Secondly, we're also offering the world's leading infrastructure. What do I mean by that, right? If you've been following the recent stock markets, it's crazy, right? If you anything to do with AI, it's like 40, 45 degrees go up. We're also working, because that every single Gemini, when you have to serve your model, train a model, you have to use GPUs, right? And that's because, like, you know, this kind of compute power needs more, not just the traditional GPU, but you also need like special graphic computer power to enable that. We work with NVIDIA to provide the best GPU, but also at the same time, we also offer our TPUs, which called Tensor Processing Unit. The latest model is like 3 times more powerful than the previous one. That's not important. Last but not least, everyone got to use AI soon, right? So we all know, we are all using Google in some sort of ways, right? When you get here, maybe you use Google Map. When you search where's where's the location of this address events, you use Google search. In the near future, we will kind of integrate our knowledge and expertise of running AI models, and we infuse it into every single product that we are using right now. For example, if I say, hey, Google, usually before it will trigger Google Assistant, right? So now it will be replaced by Gemini, right? It's in your phone, it's in Android, and you can do much more with it, right? Like you can take a photo, ask what's kind of how many people are there in this classroom, things like that, and you can use Gemini right now. Introducing Gemini, it's just so you've been following this kind of LLM trend, right? It feels long, right? Everyone is talking about Gen AI right now, AI right now, but it actually only started in like maybe 2 years ago in December 2022 when OpenAI announced ChatGPT. Have anyone heard of ChatGPT? It actually started then, right? When kind of all the AI companies start talking now, start competing against each other on AI, right? And Google Gemini was actually announced not too far ago in 2023, April. But fast forward 1 year after that, right? We have already launched 3 versions of Gemini, and now the latest version being 1.5 Pro. So see how fast-paced that we are at this kind of the stage we are in this right now. And this is really exciting because 80% of my customers, enterprise customers, they don't know anything about Gen AI, right? They don't have a clue. So if you know a little bit something about AI, about Gen AI, you go to the job market, say, I can speak AI, I can speak Gen AI, everyone wants you. So Gemini is kind of consists of a group of products or AI assistants, if you will. I can see many hands before developers, right? If you are developers, you can use Gemini to enhance your productivity. How many of you are cloud architects working in companies to kind of build no architects? How many of you are data analysis? DBA, data analysis. Okay, we have see like 4 of them. Good. How many of security experts? Okay, I see 1 guy, 2 guy, two another person. That's good. Yeah, you're a smart person. Okay, cool. So every kind of similar, kind of personas you can use Gemini for. I'm gonna demo some of them. I'm gonna show the use case for them. First of all, co-assist, right? So imagine you're a developer, right? You are not always working on the coolest and shiniest algorithm all the time, right? A lot of time you'll be spending on kind of making your codes understandable to each other, to others, right? And you will be spending more time on attending meetings, on understanding others' code. And these code assists can really help you, right? It can help you if you're a junior level of developer, you can use it to generate some code, and you can use it to run unit tests. If you're more like intermediate developers, you can use it to generate documentation. You can generate, you can build on each other's code base as well, based on the enterprise context. If you're more advanced developers, you will start thinking about security, right? Data privacy. you're stuck thinking about A-type protection. And Gemini can actually give you an idea of how you can do all of that. I'm going to do a little demo about this. So I'm going to switch to another one, Cloud Assist. So Cloud Assist, think of it, your AI assistant on the cloud, right? If you're, imagine if you're going to the company and they are running Google Cloud, and you are the only person who's gonna manage all the environments. This is your friend, right? So you can basically ask questions such as, how do I optimize costs for my GKE deployment, right? Or compute engine deployment? How do I optimize all? How do I scale for my upcoming Cyber Monday, Black Friday events? This is the type of question you can ask like a natural language, like you're chatting with a trusted friend, right? They will give you an answer. I will show you later. Security is the same thing. Security is pretty tough. We only have 2 experts here, but you can start asking natural language questions such as, what can you show me like the fail logging attempts in the past 3 days? And you can even apply filter to Gemini, asking to nail down to a specific domain that identify the potential attack path, things like that. So this is also like something you can do with it. BigQuery. How many of you heard of BigQuery? Data analysis. Here's a hand. Yeah, awesome. Hands down the best data warehouse in the world. Sorry for Snowflake friends, but yeah, this is really good. We also incorporate integrate Gemini into BigQuery, right? So you can ask questions such as, can you show me the data distribution of this chart? Can you plot me the charts of of this and that using natural language processing? And it will help you generate SQL, so that you don't need to know SQL, you don't need to know Python. You can generate automatically for you. Looker is our BI dashboard platform. So if you ever present it to higher up or a manager or executives, they never read your dashboards, right? Even though you have super cool dashboard. Those that I just mentioned don't matter to you, you still can use Gemini. Right? Again, I can give you an example. Right? Imagine you just watch an amazing movie, or you just watch a presentation, a kickoff, like an hour-long video, and you remember you've seen a screenshot, a slide somewhere. It took a photo of it, and you want to find where exactly did the person speak about it, right? You can actually use Gemini for it, right? Because Gemini now supports multimodal. What does that mean? Is that traditionally Gen AI, we only interacted with the AI using chat, right? It's text-based. And now you can ask a question, through a question with images, with videos, with audios, any sort of format. And this example that I show you here is that after the movie, I remember one scene, it's a water pouring down a person. I provided a sketch, right? It's not even a proper screenshot. Gemini will be able to understand what it means with the image and find an exact timestamp of what happened, when that happened. And now we are announcing 1 million contacts. This is a bit technical, but basically we're now supporting you upload 1 hour long of video, 11 hour audio, 30,000 lines of code, and 300,000 words, right? With one prompt. So you can just ask one question and throw all a bunch of information in it and ask it to summarize it, or find information you need with one prompt. So that's super powerful. If you still don't get to understand, don't know what you want to do with it, there are a bunch of examples, right? For example, you can ask question, take a photo, ask question about what happens in the image. You can ask to write story from the image, right? This is my favorite feature because I can use it to tell story to my daughter. You just do a dog wearing a goggle and then just ask it to write a story for you. Imagination is the only limitation. I put it here, so you can just be creative, see how you want to interact with Gemini. We also announced Flash. So cost is a big issue, right? So you might wondering, oh, is it expensive to do it? Not really. We have the consumer version. So if you go to gemini.google.com, You can sign up for the consumer version, which is free. But if you're enterprise, right, you can use Flash, which is like a same technology, but making more efficient and offer a fraction of the cost. And open source model, so you're a software engineer, you can use it. Polygemma is that you can pull the source code, you can play around with it, host it on your laptop, same as Gemma and Times, which is the forecasting model. Imagine is a cool stuff, so it will be available soon. But have you anyone seen the ads of anyone using Adobe Photoshop before? Cool. Yeah, I've seen like maybe 20, 30 of them. You know, there's a new feature. Basically, you can ask question and ask you to edit the photo, right? It can basically, it's the same technology. So now you can use Imagen 2 to do the same thing. And we support high resolution, 16:9 kind of ratio. And the video version of that is coming up, called Veo. So stay tuned. So this is pretty cool. And I believe my friend is going to talk about it later after the session, right? Okay, awesome. So stay tuned for the next session. Cool. So I'm going to show you some demo. A little bit technical, but bear with me. It's going to show you what it looks like. So this is a console. Now, this is the Google Cloud Console, right? What you can do now, instead of like having to drill down to all these kind of resources, you can actually just click Gemini logo here and asking questions such as, how do I optimize the cost? And here, you will just list down a bunch of like, potential ways you can optimize the cluster here. And then let's say if you want to follow up on the question, let's say I'm interested in using auto scaling, and you can ask, how do I auto scale my cluster? And here you can see, showing me some way, but I think it is still going to be a little bit high level. So I'm going to say, can you write me a G-Cloud command of how to auto scale my cluster? And boom, here we go. So you get the kind of command directly. My friend Puneet here can verify if this is a good command, right, for GKE. All right, so this is how you can write kind of, without any GKE knowledge, without any cloud technology, you just ask question, interact with it, and you will kind of give you the command of how to change your setup. Okay, let's say context switching a little bit. My boss told me, I'm just new to this company. My boss told me, we're currently running this website, right, online boutique shop. I don't like the layout, right? Change me from 3 columns to 4 columns. How do you do it? Please do me in one day. Finish in one day. I know nothing about HTML. I'm not a coder. I'm a cloud architect. So what I do is, but I do have a source code, right? So what I do is I open just any code IDE, right? And then I can start asking questions such as, can you help me summarize this code? So this apparently is probably written in Golang. I know nothing about Golang, but when I ask the question, is I actually say, oh, this is the front end. This code is defined as a front end server, and it's for the online shopping application. It's a microservice architecture, interact with so many other microservices, like like products, cards, currency, kind of different services. Okay, it looks good, but now I want to change the layout, right? So I'm going to ask questions such as, how do I change the layout of the website? I didn't touch the code. I just asked question, right? I just open up the editor and then ask me, okay, usually this kind of HTML sit inside a folder called static. And you can go to static, find this kind of header, footer, main, etc. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the folder, go here, go to static, static, and there's HTML here. Okay, it looks good. At least I found something. But I still don't know how to change the two from 3 columns to 4 columns. What I can do is that go to this page, and how do I? But looking at my website, right? I do understand this, right? Hot products. So I'm going to use these as my keywords. How do I change hot products from 3 columns in a row to 4 columns in a row? So when I ask this question, I still didn't touch the code. I still don't understand what happens. But Gemini is now able to kind of be able to identify what is hot products and identify where exactly is hot products. And understand it's currently showing 3 columns. And it also says it's using this hot product card CSS class. In order to update this, you need to kind of change from 4 to change it to 3. Then you will have 4 columns, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change it to 3. I'm gonna save it. And next thing is I'm gonna deploy to my website, right? This is getting a little bit technical. I know it's like a Docker file, but I don't know how to deploy it, right? So how can I deploy this container image to artifact registry? So I have a container. Everything is containerized. Now I already changed my code. I'm gonna deploy to the cloud. So you can see here you have like how you can build it. I'm gonna just copy paste this comments and then change it to my own URL, so I can the code can be deployed there. Here is my URL. Oh, sorry. Front end latest. This is always very very exciting to build this live demo. Sometimes it might not work, but let's see. Okay, I'm gonna push to the same thing. 1 sec. Sorry, I'm just gonna close this Docker push and use the same URL. But I love doing this. This is why they hire us to do this live demo. Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. So going up to from front end. Okay. All right, it will take a couple of seconds. All right, so at the same time, while I have it running, my boss, another boss like from the UI team reached out to me saying that they have a design, they have a sketch of, they want to build a logging system, but they only have like an image, a handwritten sketch. How do I add this to my web application? So now I can show you that's the image. So basically it's something here. So it's like a really simple design. I have this kind of username, password login. That's all I have. I don't have any code. What I can do next is actually I can, insert it, use Gemini. So this is the open version of Gemini. You can see the URL, gemini.google.com. And you can ask it to, ask questions such as based on what you see here, generates HTML with CSS embedded in it. So now it understands, this image seems to be a login page, and boom, it should show me this HTML with that kind of code embedded in it. And when I run it, I can take this and go to my code editor. So I can show you here. Here you go. So I didn't do any code. What I did is copy paste, and here you go. There's a login page. Just write that right. So really, it's like can make you more creative, right? You don't need to write code. You don't need to know how to write code. Yes, as long as I have a design, ask question, ask the prompt, and you will get the rest will be taken care by Gemini. So I'm going to push it to, sorry, second. To here. Cool. All right, so it seems to be updated. Now the last question I'm gonna ask, now I have the container running. So if I go here, refresh, yeah, so you can see I just pushed the container right here, right, just now. But what I can do is I'm gonna ask a question such as, how do I deploy this front end container to GKE? So because it seems to be running on GKE, so I'm going to ask a question, how do I do it? Because I have no idea. Right? And I'm going to take what's its advice and deploy it to GKE. Okay, so you tell me, oh, there is you need to find this container, which is right here. I need to change it to my new URL, right? So you know, I need to change it to the latest container image that I just built, and by doing so, I will be able to launch it. So now I have it, and it also says how do I deploy this? You know, to use kubectl command. So I'm going to go back to just typing here, apply for this. All right. So on the go, there's a lot happen on the background. So basically, I just take a request within like 10 minutes. I already built a login page. I already changed the columns. If I refresh more times, take some time. And this is configured. Let me change the. Yeah. Yeah, now it's forward, right? So, whew, okay. Can you get some applause, please? Oh, okay. Thank you so much. You know, this is as stressful as a live demo. Okay, next thing is next demo is pretty casual, right? Now you are told to kind of work on a big data set, right? You are like a bike-share company. You have like data up to like 2 million rows. Right? It's a lot of data. I don't know nothing about SQL. What I can do is I can ask questions like I always want to in data canvas, right? So I can ask questions. I don't know anything about SQL, but I do want to know what's kind of you know, what is the most. So if you look at the data set, right, it's like it has like a start station and start station name, end station name, and the duration. So I'm gonna ask, what's the most popular start station name? I didn't write any SQL, and here you go. It gives me the SQL and able to return the top results. But I want to know more, right? Maybe to see. Okay, I want to know more. So let's say I want to see what's the top station name, and I want to know like a number of trips that starts there, and the total. Sorry. The total duration minutes. So I ask more question. I ask you to give me not the most. What's okay, so I'm gonna show not just one record, but I want to show everything with like a start station name and the start time and the total duration. See what it generates to me. Cool. So I seem to have my results, right? It's sorted by number of trips. The coolest part is that you don't need to know how to write a code, right? So I can just see, I want to visualize it, I want to put in the bar charts. And here you go. You can show you the number of trip on the left-hand side, and on the left-hand side, it shows as the total number of duration. I didn't write any code. This is kind of things you can do right away by asking questions. Or asking questions is very important. By how to interact with Gen AI. Switch over to my next topic, second part, which is Vertex AI. So if Gemini is for end user, Vertex AI is for hardcore ML developers, right? We offer you the end-to-end platform from AI ML practitioners to someone who want to build ChatGPT on our platform. You can do it with Vertex AI. So we offer a bunch of different things, right? On the core, we have our infrastructure, GPU, TPU that I mentioned. We also work with TensorFlow, PyTorch, things like that. We can build and train and inference to the model all in one place. I know, some people might not know any of this, but there is one thing that I think you should also try is Agent Builder. So Agent Builder is our tool that can basically build chatbots. So we all interact with chatbot in some sort of ways, right? You go to customer service, they'll ask you, how are you today? And how can I help you? This kind of thing. A digital chatbot. Now you can build that with LLMs, right? With your natural language, with large language model. And it really doesn't require any coding, right? Now you just have to ask the right question, give it the right data, and you can build it right away. I'm going to show you another demo. So this is how you look like on the back end, but I will show you more powerfully using the demo. Before that, it's like a model garden is like it's like a thing that we're all kind of not just first-hand model, but also like third-party or open source model are available here. So if you want to use model from Meta, right? There's a Llama 3 model, you can find it here. If you want to use Anthropic, any sort of model, you can just write here, and you would deploy it. You can deploy it on Google Cloud. There are some examples, right? So if I go to this multi-model thing, you can, if you want some ideas, you can use this, right? For example, please extract information from this image, right? This image might be something that I just saw online. I want to extract this data, but I don't want to manually type it, right? It happens, right? So if to some of you, so I just ask question, can you convert the detailed information into a chart of table? It understands, it parses it, and you can, take the data, and that's it. That's just one example. But because this multi-model, right, any sort of like a, audio file, text, or video file, you can always find some ideas here. The last demo I want to show of the day is, I know some of you are students, right? There are so many books that you need to read, right? So many texts, like 100 of them. Let's say if you're going to a class called AI, what you can do is like, don't tell me what I tell you, but you can find like PDF file, put it all here, right? I want to learn everything about AI. This is all the book I can find online for free, right? 8 of them. It's all about AI. Handbook of Artificial Intelligence, talking about generative AI, and things like that. I haven't read any of them. But now I'm gonna do is that I already built a bot, right? So it can help me answer the question I don't know. So what is AI? I'm gonna put it here. It's a search bar. Now it's like reading my books for me. Generating the answer. Artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science. Blah 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 blah. It also references me to the source. Right, so if I go here, the second one, this book, boom me right here to the page that talk about AI. And the most important part is because multimodal, it's actually the image, right? You can see this is not a proper text. You understand what's exactly in the image, and you take me there. This is not good enough for me, so I'm gonna make it even better. I'm gonna tune this. So I'm gonna say, instead of just answering one question, I want to ask follow-up questions. So I'm gonna change to follow-up. And I want to use the latest model, 1.5 fresh, right? And that's it. I'm going to save it. Let's see what it returns. So in the preview, I'm going to call what is Gen AI then. So GenAI is blah, blah, blah. But now I can ask questions such as, I have heard a term called RAG, but I don't know what that is, right? So what is RAG? So now it start parsing, and RAG stands for retrieval augmented generation. It's something about in the GenAI, and it says if you don't use it properly, right, it will have like a hallucination in it. So I can just take this. I'm gonna ask her for a follow-up question. What is hallucination in GenAI? Hallucination refers to this kind of phenomena generating correct information. And I can say would grounding help? Hallucination. So again, as you can see, I'm actually chatting with this bot, and I didn't write any code. All I do, I can show you how I built it. Right, just like you go there and create the app, right? There are multiple other interaction ways to interact with the bot. You can use search like I did. You can use chat. You can use like an agent, right? Because it's a proper agent. You can launch it and sell it to other companies if you want to do your own startup. That's something you can do. You just need to provide it with the data, right? So the data store could be like could be like a storage, or could be a drive on Google Drive even. So it's pretty flexible, work with all sort of data. And if you really want to take it to the next level, you build a business around it, you can now put on an integration, and you can just take this code, right? The same URL that I just did, the search bar, the code is all right here, right? You know a little bit of HTML, take the code, put it on your website, and boom, here you go. So that's talk of my talk today. Thank you so much. I hope it helps you in some way. I hope you all get to use AI. Thank you. Yeah.
And also, I have another question. So how do you manage institutions and keep them separate? If I have one credential for my website, they're using the same bot to basically answer everyone. Do I get every session mixed? If users start tracking and they ask me questions, they add to the history, do I get the answer mixed? How can I manage this session?
Yeah. That's a really great question. So what's your name, please? Nemo's question was how scalable is this service basically? How many user base can you handle at once? And do we mess up between questions, right? Like say I ask a question and other people ask a question, do we mess it up? The answer is no. So it can be pretty scalable, and depending on how you configure it, right? So as you say, we provide infrastructure, we provide this is managed service, right? So you can use like auto scaling capabilities on the back end. So depending on your scale, it will scale based on your request. Secondly, is about like the intent. It will mess up. So each of the interaction is unique. You can choose like the correlation between your current conversation with your previous one, but it's not correlated with others, right? So it's all separate instances, right? When you talk to them, it just only talk to you. Does that make sense? The renaming I need to check, but I can ask ChatGPT if you want. I encourage you to also use the ChatGPT one, gemini.google.com, and you'll find that answer there. Okay, awesome, thanks. The gentleman. Yeah. That's a good question. So what I created is like a beer CSS HTML. But when we want to add more like a interaction like JavaScript, the whole demo, I can show you this actually the open source a GitHub page. What I did as a demo, it's right here. So you actually ask questions such as, can you make it more interactive? Can you add in like authentication and stuff? This is the oh my God. Okay. I'll show you after the session. Okay, thank you. Jenny.
So I know Gemini is powerful. It takes advantage of the search engine too. But sometimes it's not enough to get the power. It's more important to popular in the market. So OpenAI is one of the first in the market. They were acquired by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Nowadays, Apple launched Apple Intelligence.
Yeah.
Apple Intelligence. So my question is, how do you see Gemini for customized development? And I will give you an example. Nowadays, I'm having some clients coming back to me and say, I want my system to be integrated with artificial intelligence. So when they mean artificial intelligence, they mean actually OpenAI because he's the one they know more and he's the one they have used because of ChatGPT.
Mhm.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting question. So a lot of people are launching OpenAI sort of technology, but I think the most important thing is how we make it more responsible, right? So you can sometimes can be really hallucinated, right? So when you ask question, you would maybe respond with like incorrect information and things like that. So it's not doesn't matter like who comes first, but actually who makes it more responsible. And in Google, at least what we do. What I know is that we actually provide you some sort of protection. We never use your data to train our models. That's first. So your data stays with you. And the second is that when you face some data challenges, let's say you use Code Assist, right? We make sure that the data, the code that's output from Code Assist is not like kind of use any kind of copyright code, right? It's all trained on public data and also our first party data. So at least we know like from this end, we make sure that it's responsible for everyone. No problem.
Recommending products based on the user inputs, like we saw on the IO experience.
Yeah, so if you want to like no code, so what I show you is like a search, right? But there's another option calling like agents. So that option basically allows you to build like agent bots without code, right? It's natural language prompt. So you can ask questions. You can give it prompts such as, "You're now a customer service chatbot," and you will answer questions such as, "How do you fill the order? What's your inventory size?" and things like that. And when you get prompt on those questions, here are the examples. Here are the other tools that you should go to find your answers. So this is kind of the structure you can give to your bot to build it without kind of writing any code. You just need to give it examples, like how you're teaching the kids to become a customer agent. Things. Fine-tuning in the way that you need to give it examples. So you need to give it really clear examples in order to make it more useful, right? So because it doesn't know about your domain knowledge, you need to give it like either provide it a good like a API endpoints to go to find answers, or you just give it instructions, very clear ones, and that will make your bad bot more useful. No problem. How many questions can we take, or we're still good in time? Okay, cool. Gotcha.
So my question is like when we ask question to Jenny, like maybe response, so it only search from your Google documentation pages, or it's also taking input from libraries?
For code or for Cloud Assist?
Both, whatever.
Okay.
As an example, we make a cluster. So
yeah.
We choose one name from the cluster. Is it going to take the input or not?
The Cloud Assist is based on our documentations and based on our code base. The Code Assist is based on like a third-party loyalty-free licenses code base, and also as well as our first-party Google Cloud code base. So
there is no security design.
Yep.
Like as an example, we work with data, it's not doing one.
No.
I have a question.
Sorry, I don't. Oh, okay. Sorry.
What's the difference between TensorFlow and So this vertical AI just like your NLP, where you give your text and so give you commands on how to use it, or how does it fit your business if I were to create
TensorFlow and Vertex AI. Oh, so TensorFlow can be hosted, can be run on Vertex AI. Vertex AI is our platform. So it's a platform like ML ops platform. TensorFlow is a platform that you use to build an ML models, right? So you can use it to write kind of a pipeline. You can use TensorBoard to track the experiments and things like that. You can put all of that directly on Vertex AI. So it's compatible, right? So the Vertex AI, you take your TensorBoard and directly take the code and can run it on Vertex AI. The code can be trained because you will need the GPU, you will need the infrastructure to train those models, right? To be more efficient. That's why you would need Vertex AI for. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, there's one more hand. Maybe if you don't mind, I can answer. Oh, we have three. Okay. Maybe you can find me after the session. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Just for context of product designer, with a very basic knowledge of HTML.
Mm.
This was like really interesting to see how easy things have become for me.
Mhm.
I was just trying to learn how we make things difficult for the developers and what not to do to make it easier. So my question is that we're already using technology, the AI for initial phase of user experience design like wireframing and stuff. But how do you envision this in terms of collaboration between developers and designers in the coming future? Like, how can we make it more collaborative and easier?
That's a really great question as well. I will say it's how you can speak other language more, right? So because you're working on a different function, if you can speak more of their language, then that will definitely make the communication more helpful. Let's say if you have a design, you can pre-populate like HTML and see, oh, this is what I did, right? You can see run if this works, and maybe they can do some fine tuning and make it even better. But I think that will be a kind of a bridge between this communication. If you don't know how to code, here you have the tool to make it kind of codable, right? So become like a code that could be understood by the others. Does that make sense? Cool, awesome.
On that note, thanks a lot, Henry.
Thank you
so much. I will stay in the panel discussion with Abby as well if you can. We'll check with you. If you allow, we'll try to have in time so that we can have more interactive questions. So I have a small announcement to make. We are going to split the session now in the workshop track and the conference track. As part of the conference track, after the agenda, we will have some more demos, and then we will also go for lunch around 1, and then we will come back and we will have a panel discussion and pick up the conference track. For workshop track, we will continue with the labs and all. So let me call Henry again, sorry for that, and May, you can help us to give the gift to so May, who is our professor here and also program partner for AI courses. So please have to so let me invite Louis, who will give us a board demo on our Google AI ML features and some Gemini stuff, and very immediately after that, we'll be speaking for so Louis, welcome to the So while Louis might here, I have another.
Can I get some help with the computer?
Yeah, sure.
Now a lot. I've got a lot.
You can connect the HDMI So do not worry, it's not gonna take that long. But I want to ask something. Do you all have access in your phones to Gemini? Who does not have access? If you can raise your hand if you don't have access to Gemini. Or everyone has Gemini already. Pretty much? All right, perfect. So the ones that are Android, I need you to please go to your app. And the ones who use Apple, please go to the Google app because we're gonna do some of the demos right now. Before I proceed with that, I just want to give you a little bit of context. My name is Luis Rodriguez. I am from Colombia. I came about a year ago here to Toronto. I currently work with these guys in the cloud area of Google. My job is to basically help CTOs and CEOs to make sense of let's say, the tools that Google has. So I basically work as a bridge between what Mike does and what Henry does. So on daily basis, I will be sitting with someone who wants to get something done but has no idea on how to do it. So my job is to talk to them and explain to them these concepts that sometimes could be a little bit, let's say, tricky or complicated in a very simple way, in such a way that regardless of your expertise, you can be an expert in Google. Right now, I don't know if you recall, but a few weeks ago, the CEO of NVIDIA, he was saying something. In the future, it doesn't matter if you don't know how to code, everyone will be able to code. And Henry just showed to everyone that you don't even need to know HTML, like any, let's say, any language per se. Currently, I have knowledge of Python, but if I need to do something that is not Python related, I can just ask Gemini and I will have an expert coding helping me at this moment. So I don't need to know that. It doesn't mean that it's not important. Of course, the more knowledge you have in regards to these topics, the easier it will be for you to use all the tools that we get. AI is here not to take your job. It's not here to like do everything for you. It's here for you to guide AI so you can get the results that you want. So with that being said, I request all of you to do me a big favor. Take your phone for a moment. If you're on iPhone, please go to the Google app. And if you are in Android, please go to the Gemini app. Let me know if somebody here is not able to get into that and I can help. No worries. So at this moment, what I want everyone to do is just this. Use your phone, your own device, and ask Gemini, how can I learn AI in the next 6 months? And Gemini, it's gonna give you, out of that prompt, a list of steps. It's gonna show you how you can actually start to work on AI. And let me tell you something. I know that a lot of people here have a really big background when it comes to technology. That's amazing. But there's also a lot of people, especially out there, especially in our communities, that they don't have that knowledge or they didn't have access to it. Right now, AI, it's been able to, let's say, demolish all of those barriers that we had before. So now everyone, thanks to AI, even if they are in Colombia, in El Congo, even if they are in Switzerland, regardless of the country, everyone has now access to the same tools that everyone has here. So thanks to that, even if you have only a cell phone, I'm not even using the laptop at this point. Like you don't need a MacBook, you don't even need a Chromebook or anything. Just with your phone, I'm gonna show you some of the use cases of the Google technologies that one of our colleagues was just showing you. Vertex is an amazing tool. It allows us to create and develop these complex, let's say, chatbots from one moment to the other. But how do you see those as a user? It's amazing to see everything, how it's done. And I'm going to show you some of the websites in which you can actually start to create all of this. We can give you access to many of these technologies. All you have to do is now on your phone, please go to the next website that I'm going to tell you. It's called Google Developers. Have you been able to do, like, to create a Google Developer account before? Anyone here who is a Google Developer already? A lot? Not that many. Okay, so I will ask you, take your phone, go to Google Developer website, and for free, you will be able to create a Google Developer account. The reason for that, I will show you in a moment in the laptop, is that once you have access to that, you will be able to test, that you will be able to use in advance many of these tools that we have been talking about. Regardless if you are not working in Google, you don't need to work in Google to be able to use these tools. You don't need to have access to everything at this point, but you can request access to many of these things that are going to change how we learn, how we study, and how we interact. I really want to say thank you to the college for allowing us to be here, because universities and college are going to change in a way that you cannot imagine. Like, we have two options. Either we fight AI and we fight against people who use ChatGPT and all of that, or we implement new ways in which we can learn and in which we can teach people how to use AI. So once you have your developer account, let me show you here. So once you have your developer account, this is one of the websites that I would like you to visit. This one, it's Labs by Google. So it's labs.google. Maybe not many people knows about this website, but it allows you to be one of the testers, be one of the, let's say, the frontliners, one of the people who will be right there where all of this innovation is happening. Way before we have the Google I/Os, way before we have any of these events, you will be able to test most of the new coming, let's say, tools, most of the new coming news right before everyone else. And you don't need to pay for that. You don't even need to work in Google. You can do that as an individual. All you have to do, create a free developer account. Once again, my goal here is to help you guys to, let's say, build a bridge between what you just saw, all of the ways in which we can use Vertex AI, because everything right now in Google is based on Gemini. In different, like, let's say, different ways. We have different models. We have Gemini, Gemini Pro, Gemini 1.5, Flash, and a lot of them. Like, we have a lot. So at this point, regardless of your knowledge in Gemini, what I want to encourage everyone is to try new things, like start to learn. One of those, I'm going to show you. Henry was talking about, and he was actually showing how we can use Vertex to generate, let's say, stories for bedtime for our kids. So who here is a father or by the way, happy Father's Day to all of you. Anyone here who has kids? I don't have kids just yet, but I have a little brother, so I can rely on that. I will say, if you want to create a story for bedtime, and you can show pictures, you can show videos to that kid, they are gonna enjoy that way more than if you just sit with them. But at the same time, it is a moment for you to show them and to teach them. So we have this tool. Right now, there's the access is not yet over there. You can request access, but it will take a while. You will have to be in the waiting list. It's called VideoFX. My partner also mentioned it. The idea for that is that you can start to create your own stories. But in this one is a little bit more, let's say, public at this time. Let me show you here. 1 second. This one is going to affect a lot of universities, college, and all of that. It's called NotebookLM. So in NotebookLM, you will be able to gather, just like Henry showed to all of us, you can gather books. You can create, like, let's say, if we want to build a new notebook, we can use Drive, we can use a PDF, we can use text that we have. We can even use a website so that we can get a study guide that will be detailed, and then we'll be able to give you examples and even use cases for whatever you want to learn at that point. So let's say that you are in one of these programs for AI and you want to create a chatbot and you don't have any idea of how to create the chatbot. Of course, you can follow Gemini. Gemini can show you how to do it, but then how do you learn how to do it? By using this LM, we can get a detailed version in which we will be learning step by step. Let's say that we have a book, we have a PDF. We can take all the information from that PDF and you can study and get ready for your exams. The reason why I'm showing all of this to all of you here is because I know that most of the people that are coming are, well, of course, are right now studying. And the main goal for us is to have accessibility for technology. So the more we show everyone that technology is not that complicated, the more people will be using technology. And especially in a place like Toronto, Toronto is one of the capitals for AI in the world. So I encourage all of you to start to share what you know, because if you're here, most likely you already know more than most people about AI. So at this point, I will encourage everyone to start to share. There are many free resources. By the end of all of this event, I'll send you an email with some free classes, some free certifications, not just from Google, from IBM, from Microsoft. There are so many. So you don't even have to pay if you want to learn all of this stuff that is happening right now. But you actually need to be willing to learn more. So if you have that passion and you want to learn more, you can end up working in a place like Google. That's how I did it. I didn't even pay for me to study coding or anything. I did everything online. I did everything from Colombia. And you can do the same. Everyone can do the same. If they are in Pakistan, India, they are in Saudi America, or sorry, in Saudi Arabia, South America, whatever, regardless of where they are, right now we have access to all of these tools. So there's another one that I want to show you. Not this one. Of course, we all know Gemini. Henry also showed many of the ways in which we can use Gemini right now, because this is a free version. But do you know that even in your phone right now, you can take a picture, you can take a video, and you can ask Gemini, because it's a multimodal solution at this point. Hey, I want you to tell me what is that. For example, if I get lost in Paris and I don't know how to speak French, or if I go to Quebec and I don't know how to speak French, I can literally take my phone, ask Gemini, hey, this is where I am. I want to go to this museum. How do I do that? And it's going to use Google Maps. It's going to use Vision AI. It's going to use many of the tools that Google has in conjunction to give you an answer. And it's going to tell you, hey, you are right now, you're located in this position. In order for you to go there, this is the route that you have to take. But you don't even have to use Google Maps or anything. Gemini can do all of that for you. And it can tell you where to get a snack or anything that you need at this point. So once again, we all have this tool. It's in our pocket. At this point, you don't have to be connected to a computer, to a laptop, whatever. You have everything you need in the phone that you have. If it is Android, if it is iOS, you already have access to all of this. So at this point, something that I also want to encourage all of you, it's to, hey, let's try to stay connected. Here, let me give you this one. So here I'm going to show you the LinkedIns of the different speakers from today. And I also want to share the one from the GDG group. Like our goal, once again, is to share technology with everyone, is to allow more people to get into this environment. So it's not just about being super technical. You can be the most technical person or the less technical person, regardless. You have a place here. You have a community here that is looking for people. And once again, I encourage all of you to follow the community on LinkedIn. Also, here are the LinkedIns for the different speakers. This is my LinkedIn, the LinkedIn for Puneet, who will be in charge of the workshop that we will be doing in a while. Also the one for Michael, and also the one for Henry. So if you are okay with that, after we came from lunch, I can share let's say a QR so that we can have maybe a form, and I can send you an email to all of you with some free resources. I will give you access to different classes, different lessons, completely free, from IBM, from Google, from Microsoft, and different other providers. The only thing I will ask each and every one of you, don't keep that for yourself. That information can change the life of many people, especially here in Canada. We have a deficit, we have a crisis when it comes to technology. We are not able to get enough technical personnel each year. That could be the reason why many of us are here right now. And it's still the thing that is happening. Like, this is still the same situation. So even with all the people that already came, we're still in a deficit. We need more people in tech. So please, once you receive that, if you have a friend who is also thinking, I was in sales before I came here, like before I started to go to technology 5 years ago. So I can tell you, regardless of your technical background, all of these can change your life. So please go ahead, do your research, take your classes, take your certifications, share it with someone because it's going to be able to help them to achieve more. Now, I know that we have to go to lunch. Everyone is hungry. But before I go, any questions that you may have about all of this? Yep. I don't know, lunchtime?
Alright, so just another thing, so, Luis will be here with us and he will be also on our panel for further discussion in the question, but parking the, parking questions for now, alright? We will have our question session with Luis again after that. So considering the time and also we have